Yeah. The fuck. Wine. Wine tonight. Not a huge wine guy, but that's what I had laying around. So, bucket. Late though. I don't know if anybody's gonna be here. We'll find out. See two people. Where's my camera all fucked up? Oh, there we go. What's up, man? How you doing? TY. Just might have to reschedule these. Saturday night, it's like 10 o'clock here. I'm like, should I like be out doing some shit? But whatever. Got this thing. It's a fucking Rambo knife. Always wanted one of these since I was a kid, and I saw Rambo. I think every kid my age saw that movie Rambo. Always wanted a Rambo knife. It's kind of cheap, but yeah. I'd be scared if somebody pulled that out of me though. What's going on, Jason X? You know, I probably know some of you guys are just under different names because everybody uses a different name on like Facebook, Instagram, my network, YouTube. It's like I feel bad because I can't remember everybody's name. Jason, that sounds familiar. Smoke some weed. I can't do that. I don't even think I can drink, but it's in a cup maybe. I don't know. YouTube's like really fucking weird about that. I can drink my grape juice though. So. Cool. Some people did make it right on. Worried. Forgot to promote it. What are you guys up to, man? Ian, what's up, man? Chilling. Just got back from my tattoo artist guy is doing some work. It's always a good way to spend the night. Homework sucks. That does suck. Just edible, nice. Right on, Dominic. Appreciate it, man. I'm glad after 10, 11 years, people still watch my shit. YouTube's kind of changed, and it's like not even close to what it was 10 years ago, but I'm glad that people still watch my shit. Try to keep it interesting, but when you got 1,000 videos, I literally have 1,000 videos between two channels. Actually, I got about 1,200 almost between both channels. So I'm like running out of shit to say. People are like, make more drug videos. It's like, I will, but you know, like that means I got to do more drugs, get more stories. Actually, I've saved a few for later that I didn't actually put out yet. I just got to be careful with YouTube though. Right on, 14. That's cool. Yeah, man. I hear that a lot. That's cool, man. You know, once in a while, somebody recognizes me on the street. Doesn't happen all the time, maybe a couple dozen times a year, but like somebody like, I saw you on fucking YouTube when I was 15. I'm like, oh shit, you were watching my shit when you were 15? Damn. And there'd be some dude at the bar. Be like, all right, buy me a drink. You guys, I like the live stream's kind of cool, but it's like, I wish it was like Messenger, like Facebook Messenger. They have like a chat room. So you like, you know, people could join the group, you approve them, boom, 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 and then everybody can like cam and mic up and shit. I wish it was more like that. YouTube's got to get with it. I mean, this is cool. I know it's a different platform, but I like the other one. It's more interactive. But hey, I hit the bars all the time. Oh, we can do that, White Rabbit, on YouTube? Or is that like Google Hangouts or some shit? Thanks, Dominic. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I still hit the bars. I mean, I still drink. I just don't drink as much as I used to, but I do hit the bars. I mean, I go to a lot of shows, but other than that, like I just walk to the neighborhood bar. It's because it's close. I don't have to drive. Don't have to worry about cops or DUI or anything. And been going there for so fucking long. I know everybody now, so it's like it's kind of nice. It's like Cheers. Like you walk in, it's like Norm. Eh. I love Ghost, man. I've seen them every time. Well, I missed them. Well, they didn't come to San Diego this year, but I've seen them 3 times. Saw them once in LA and twice in San Diego. got a picture with one of the ghosts, one of the ghouls. I think it was a drummer or one of the one back in 2016. Got to hang out with Tobias Forge backstage in 2017, which is fucking awesome. He autographed my ghost dollars and shit. Talked to him about Satanism and stuff. Fucking square guy. So that was, but yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I mean, I like Ghost. I'm not their newest album. Well, fuck, I don't even know what their newest album is. The one that I last heard was is all right. I mean, it wasn't as impressive as like the two before it, but yeah, I mean, I'm a big Ghost fan. I know he does. Yeah, he's of course I've heard of Deicide, man. I'm not a big fan of death metal or black metal. I know Deicide is more death metal, but I mean it's okay. It's just it's too much noise for me. It's too loud. If I can't understand what the fuck they're saying, it's just I mean, Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, those are okay. Vital Remains, so, you know, some of those, but that's not my thing. I like more like metal, like more older metal, like Pantera, you know, stuff like that, White Zombie. But that's the shit that I grew up on. That's like 90s shit. Marilyn Manson, even, you know, all that shit came out in the 90s and it was cutting edge, 9 Inch Nails. So I know death metal's been around, but minimum wage in San Diego is $12.50. It's going up to 13 2020, and then I think it's by 2022 it'll be 15, something like that. But it depends on the county too. If you're in LA County, different counties are a little bit different, but yeah, it's about 13, 12.50, something like that. Something like that. Yeah, White Rabbit. Yeah, Tobias Forge. He's like a legit Satanist. He's pretty straight, you know, and he downplays it a little bit, just like Marilyn Manson did. You know, when Marilyn Manson got big, Marilyn Manson was pretty overtly a Satanist. You know, pictures of Anton LaVey had wrote a chapter in his biography about him, stuff like that. You know, but then when he got bigger, he kind of downplayed it, and you know, that's nothing new. I mean, unless you're like planning not to sell a lot of, you know, stuff, or like you're like a death metal band, if you're going to go mainstream, you can't. Satanism is not going to sell. Ghost did the same thing. Now Ghost is kind of, you know, but that's just it. When they're in a position, you know, they're new bands, right? Like Marilyn Manson, like, you know, his first couple albums, I mean, it was pretty overt. And it's like, you know, it becomes a money thing where his producers and stuff are like, hey, you want to keep pushing the Satanist shit, you're not going to get any airplay. You're not going to sell millions of albums. And that's what happens. And so they downplay it. Rolling Stones did the same thing. In fact, the Rolling Stones were the very first legit satanic bands, like legitimate Satanist bands. There's a lot of bands that use satanic imagery and use, you know, satanic lyrics or whatever, or like, you know, copy and paste it. No, I'm talking like real Satanists, like not just like for show. Like a good majority of these death metal bands and black metal bands are just for show. I'm not saying they all are, of course not, but a good deal of them are. But some of the very first legitimate satanic band was the Rolling Stones back in 1966. In 1966, the year the Church of Satan was formed, they released an album called Their Satanic Majesty's Request. Wasn't a big seller, although the Stones were already getting big then. So that correlates. And then in 1969, when the Satanic Bible was released, they released the famous album called Sympathy for the Devil. And they've been in films that had to do with documentaries about the Church of Satan. They were in a Kenneth Anger's Invocation to My Demon Lover, Lucifer Rising. Mick Jagger did the soundtrack for it. You know, they had LaVey in it. They had a few other notable Satanists, filmed by Kenneth Anger. So the history goes back quite a ways. But the Rolling Stones did the same thing. Once the 70s came around, it's like downplayed it, you know. But yeah, I mean, but you can satanic lyrics in their music, even, you know, now when they're fucking 70 or 80, whatever they are. Yeah. 725 in Texas. That sucks. That sucks. Get California, but California is expensive, man. I doubt Texas is as expensive on the whole. I mean, I'm sure that parts of it are, but like in San Diego, like I pay $1,500 for a 1-bedroom apartment. Now you can find them cheaper, but mine isn't anything glamorous. It's not like it's, you know, I mean, it's a gated community, but it's nothing. It's humble. It's small. You know, I don't have a washer and dryer or a dishwasher or AC. You know, it's that's typical San Diego. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get into a 1-bedroom apartment out here unless you're willing to live like in the ghetto. Like I'm not talking like a rundown neighborhood. I'm talking like ghetto where like you might have to carry a gun at night. unless you're willing to live in the real ghettos, you're not going to find anything less for 1,000. I live like 5 minutes from the beach, and you know, kind of in outskirts of downtown, so it's 1,500. But yeah, Anton LaVey has a lot of living relatives. His I met his daughter Carla LaVey, which is his oldest daughter, San Francisco, 2015, at her event. She's in her 60s. Zena LaVey, his other daughter, she's a little younger, probably in her 50s something. She's married to a guy named Nicholas Schreck. They live in Germany, I think, somewhere. Um, Most recently, though, I was able to meet Anton LaVey's son. His former name, I can't, I'm not going to say his real name, but his former name was Xerxes, Sainton Xerxes Carnacula Bay. Lives out here in San Diego, or he did when I met him a couple of years ago, three years ago. Maybe. But yeah, he's a cool kid. I don't mean to call him kid. Yeah, he's younger than me, but doesn't say much. But yeah, he's cool. He's a well, I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not supposed to. Well, I don't know. I'm not supposed to, so I'm just not gonna say anything. What I do for a living is I do a couple things. You know, for like a paycheck, like a legit job where I get paid with a paycheck that's taxed, because I do a few things that aren't taxed. But I work for an advertising company. I do marketing and sales, but more on the promotional ends. Not like I'm not a cashier or anything like that. I do more marketing for advertising companies. Pay this company that I work for money to help them promote their products. Big stuff like a lot of it's food, a lot of it's wine and drink, stuff like that. But that's what I do for money. I was doing Uber for a while, but I quit just because it's, you can make money if you're willing to work like a madman. And you know, San Diego's traffic's kind of shitty, and my car, I have an older car. I mean, it's a great car, but I get like 16 miles to the gallon, so it's like not good. That's why everybody in Uber is driving like Toyota Priuses and shit like that. Because Dub Hollow Horrors, that's a cool name. Glenn Benton. Glenn Benton. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Vital Remains. My buddy Brian Werner, not Warner, like Marilyn Manson. I know it's fucked, right? He's got like one letter is off from the names. It used to be the singer of Vital Remains. He recently just resigned, but yeah, I've seen Vital Remains a couple times, mainly just because Brian's my friend, and I go wherever if he's in San Diego, I'll come see him. Vital Remains. Jen from San Diego. Cool. Hopefully, I know a few Jens. That's probably what I'm talking about. Oh, thanks, Chuck, man. I appreciate it. I like your name, dude. Chuck McChuckle. That's pretty funny. You guys ever wish like you would have thought of like a better name, like, because you get stuck with the name, right? Like, make a YouTube channel or whatever, right? And then like you could just delete your shit and start over, right? But now you can't because like you're kind of locked in there. It's up, freedom to be in the know. That's a cool name. Yeah, death metal. I mean, people are always like surprised, like, well, it's a Satanist that doesn't like death metal. It's blasphemy. It's like, well, just not a big fan. I mean, like, I don't know. I kind of grew up on like metal, just regular metal, like Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera. Well, Pantera's a little after, but yeah, I mean, old metal like that. Even like more obscure stuff like Motorhead's not that obscure, but Motorhead, Celtic Frost. But I kind of grew up more like, as I got into my teens, I was like more like more got into like punk stuff like that, and like Bad Religion, the Misfits, Dead Kennedys. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Minutemen. I mean, then just in my later teens, that's when I got into like more industrial goth stuff. But kind of stayed a little harder on the industrial side. I mean, you got to remember though, that was like fucking in the mid '90s, so that was like when goth was starting to get big. Like, before like South Park had characters, and before like, I don't even know who fucking is goth anymore today. I don't know what they consider goth, but this is old school stuff. Like, we kind of got that movement going, people of my age. And but I like the industrial stuff more, like Nine Inch Nails and Skinny Puppy, Thrill Cold, Electric Hellfire Club. Fuck. Ministry is fucking badass. I love Ministry. I missed them, damn it. They were just here in San Diego about 6 months ago, and I missed them. That sucks. Al Jorgensen, he's not getting any younger. I like him. I love his side projects too. Ministry is the shit. Mind is a terrible thing to taste. Is a great album. It's probably my favorite. It's probably most people's favorite. It's probably the best one. Land of Rape and Honey is good. Hard to go wrong. Thrill Cult's fucking awesome too. Yeah. So no, I'm not seeing Slayer one last time. I've seen Slayer like 6 times. First time I saw him was my first like metal show was Slayer. It was called Clash of the Titans. It was Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains, right? They were like the opening band for Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer. The grunge was just getting started. This is like in 1991. That was like my first metal shows in high school. And yeah, it was like nobody know, like grunge had just started to get big. You know, Alice in Chains was more the heavier as compared to like your Pearl Jams or your Nirvana. Alice in Chains is a little more hard, but more metal. And but that did not sit well with like the audience that showed up for Slayer. And now you got Alice in Chains. It's like they got booed off a stage and they got pissed. Nobody knew that Alice in Chains would go on to sell more albums than all those bands put together. But whatever. I like Alice in Chains. Slayer, yeah. It was I think it was season. No, it was South of Heaven. Is it South of Heaven or Seasons in the Abyss? That was the first one show that I saw. Slayer was badass back then. It was like metal like that turned me on to Satanism to begin with, because, well, it turned a lot of people on of that age though, because back in the late 80s, because I read this Satanic Bible when I was 14. Some dude gave it to me. I just read it. But back then, that would have been like 89, 90, something like that. Like, you know, that was in the height of what they call a satanic panic. You don't see that anymore. But back then, for about 3 or 4 years, late 80s, early 90s, there was like Satanism was all over talk shows. Like there was like Oprah, all the big talk shows. Geraldo Rivera is not around. Most of these aren't even around anymore. But yeah, I mean, it's all over, like ritual abuse. Oh, the fucking underground dungeons and preschools. Oh, these acid baths. That's why we can't find any evidence, because they sacrifice babies and throw them in this pit of acid, but we can't even find the pits of acid. It's like it was hysteria. It was fucking hysteria. Then they had like Richard Ramirez. I think he was little mid 80s, but you had like people were fucking freaking out, and that was what interested me in it, because I was like watching TV and just like Satanism. I didn't know anything about Satanism, of course, right? And I was like, what the fuck is this? This kind of looks interesting. So I went and checked it out, and of course it was nothing like they said it was, but kind of backfired. Like the Satanic Panic created a whole generation of Satanists, and me being one of them, out of that time frame. Kind of a reverse backlash. Scared a lot of people in the church. A lot of religions made a lot of money. You know, especially TV evangelists. That's who I think started it. Yeah, the FBI did an investigation in like 92. Pretty thorough investigation. They wrote a whole book about it. And basically they investigated these alleged crimes of satanic ritual abuse and like cults and stuff like that. Nothing. They couldn't find any evidence but a handful of like a few people that were just insane. You know, there's just a few like lone stragglers that they found no organized satanic cults or anything like that. So they dismiss it, which is they should have, because that's exactly what it was. White Rabbit, see, Satanism was called, you know, most Satanists are atheists or atheists with agnostic leanings, you know. Satanism in itself, if you strip away the Halloween costume, you know, you get rid of this stuff, right? This is it. Well, it's symbolic, but at the same time, if you were to remove all the trappings and instead of call it Satanism, the philosophy itself is more like atheistic Buddhism that revolves around the self. It has really nothing to do with gods or devils, because we don't believe in gods and devils. So it's confusing. But at the time when it was called Satanism in 1960, it was for a reason, for a lot of reasons, which I'm not going to go into because we'd be here all fucking night. But yeah, it's that's basically what it is. Like, it's great because people are like, dude, you're cool, man, but I don't know about that fucking devil shit. It's like, well, it's because you don't know about the devil shit. But I get it. I get it. People, it's confusing, and it still isn't. Honestly, we should get rid of the name personally, because You know, agnostic. When I sit and talk to people all the time about philosophy that don't know I'm a Satanist, and what they're saying to me about what they believe and how they feel and their views on things are almost identical, like 90% identical as what the philosophy of Satanism would be. So the majority of people under the age of 35, at least in America, white people. I only stress that because you'll see a lot more religious people within minority religions. So white people under the age of 35, the majority of them, their overall philosophy, at least in California. See, I got to start narrowing it down because I don't know about the South. I avoid that place. The philosophy is pretty much the same as mine. Luciferian is it's ask. If you ask me, a Luciferian is basically a Satanist, but instead of they like to think of themselves as more articulate, more evolved, and more a more refined version of Satanists. I think that that's kind of silly, but it's just reinventing the wheel is basically what it is. But yeah, at the end of the day, damn, I change that light. It's bright. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still a Satanist. Thinking about, oh shit, damn it, I forget that I'm recording this. There are theistic Satanists. They're in the minority, but there definitely is, and there are people that call themselves Satanists that have no idea what Satanism is. They just do it because it's cool. And you have people like the Satanic Temple who aren't Satanists at all. They're atheist, political activists, liberal, LGBT community people that use Satanism and this to get attention and use the religious, because Satanism is recognized as a religious organization, so they are protected by religious laws, and therefore, if like you were to petition like they do, like things like discrimination, this and that, if you're not part of a religious group or another protected group, the LGBT community, homosexuals or sexual so-called deviants or whatever, are protected too under certain rights in the United States, which is why Satanic Temple uses images like this and talks about Satanism. A lot of their spokesperson Lucian is very well informed, so he does pretty good at throwing a convincing story. I'm not saying he's not a Satanist. I'm just saying that the vast majority of the Satanic Temple is not. Now, when it comes to theistic Satanists, there are people that believe that the devil's real, just misunderstood. There are people that believe that the devil or demons are real and you can summon them, and I don't prescribe to that, but there are people, they do exist. There's just not very many of them. What's up, Everest? Okay, Everest, got it. Jediism. I mean, that's funny because when you like think of the Star Wars movies, that I always notice that too, because like when you listen to like Yoda and shit describe the Force and stuff like that, that's very kind of what they call left-hand path. It's common in Satanism. A lot of people like myself who are more agnostic, where I don't believe that there's deities like gods and devils that give a fuck about what we do, but I do believe there are forces that we don't understand, but they don't really care about us. But like Yoda like describes a force, and they describe things like that on a philosophical level. Some of those are identical to Satanism, but I'm not saying Satanism is Jediism, but there are similarities to what Yoda says and the whole dualistic. I don't know. Maybe it's coincidental, maybe not. Force can also be like the chi, Buddhism, Eastern philosophies refer to like the chi or a life force. Satanism often refers it to as a darker force, but that's almost every religion has some sort of force. If there's not a deity, a lot of Native American religions, they not worship, but they idolize things like the sun or the seasons or elements of the earth and stuff. I mean, that's paganism was long before any established organized religion like Christianity or even Islam, and they borrowed from the pagans, which is like holidays, like Christmas is a pagan holiday, stuff like that. They basically took what they liked from this group, conquered another group, took what they liked from that one, conquered and just moved the other way on down. I don't know. Religion's fucking stupid, I think. I mean, just, it's weird because, like, I grew up in California, and mainly in California and Arizona. I grew up in fairly liberal places, but so I don't know about like people in the South, and I definitely don't know about other countries. But even, from the time I was, say, a teenager, back in the early '90s to now, I can see a change in public opinion about religion, especially youth. Like when I was in high school, it was regardless of the Satanism thing, there was the majority of people, although they may not have called themselves Christians, would, if you put put them on the spot. That was more, there was Bible study. There was always like some sort of religious class of some sort. You don't see that shit anymore. It's like almost now it's been turned on its head, where if you're in high school now and like you're like 15 and you haven't been laid and fucking smoked a joint and drank a beer in the fucking bathroom at school, you're kind of a fucking dork, and it wasn't like that when I was one of the guys doing that, but now it's like, it's almost like the opinion, unless you're like maybe in the South or somewhere else that I don't know about, but it's like, yeah, they kind of consider you a prude if you're like religious, like, if you like walk around and like have a Bible and take religious classes, you're kind of a fucking dork. And as in my opinion, as it should be, because you're just still a child following along with what your parents told you. Hexhammer, I like Hexhammer. I don't watch his stuff anymore just because it's way too political. I could give two fucks about politics. But funny thing with Sticks Hammer 666, man, he back in 2009 when I got on YouTube, there was only a handful of Satanists making videos. There was Sticks Hammer was one of them. Jason King, Venus Satanis, I think fucking Avenger Satanis. There's a couple others, but those were the main ones. Sticks Hammer, though, I liked. We used to talk and bullshit, and we used to like kind of like troll like YouTube, some of the get involved with the atheists. There's like the Amazing Atheists and those guys that just, yeah, that was way back to me. I like Sticks Hammer. I mean, he kind of, I don't really think he like is not a Satanist anymore. I think what happened, like I was talking about the musicians, he started to get big, right? Blowing up. And if he wants to get big, he's got to release the Satanism thing. And now he's huge. Now he's got every video he puts out, he gets 100,000 views because he's now doing a lot of politics and shit like that. He's a smart guy and he's good, but he realized, I think, that he had to drop the Satanism. Just like if I were to drop the Satanism thing and just rolled with the 30 hits of LSD guy and just rolled with that, the whole drug community, I'd probably have a lot more following, because whenever I make videos about Satanism, I watch my subscribers go down because like, well, fuck this guy, and that's fine. I mean, so it's like, I think that's what Sticks did, but I mean, I'm not positive. I haven't talked to the guy for years. It's probably been since like 2015 or 14 since I've talked to the guy, but he's cool. Oh, okay, Mark. Cool. Sorry, man. I start talking and I forget to read. Right on, man. Cool. Secular Buddhism, no name. I don't know a whole lot about it. I mean, I know the basics of Buddhism, which, in my opinion, certain aspects of it are very, I think Satanism, its heart and its core, is probably most alike Buddhism, certain aspects of Buddhism, than any other religion out there. I mean, Zena LeVay and Nicholas Schreck, they're some sort of Buddhist. I might be secular Buddhism. I'm not really sure, man. I don't know enough about it to really have much of an opinion. I just know what I've read. There's been a lot of aspects about Buddhism where it's like, wow, that's pretty left-hand path. Wow, that's very similar. But yeah, H.P. Lovecraft. In fact, most of my tattoos are designed after Cthulhu mythology blended with satanic elements and sigils and stuff like that. But yeah, my entire left arm is based off of Nyarlathotep and the Cthulhu mythologies. But yeah, I mean, I can't really show you that much, but this camera's not gonna pick it up. All this stuff is like biomechanical, based off of Cthulhu mythology, of the old ones and stuff. They're gonna rip open our dimension. So most of this stuff is, So yeah, big HP man. Always was since I was a kid. Well, a teenager. full moon tomorrow, the orange moon. I don't know. It was pretty nice tonight. I was out there taking a look at it. It's pretty cool. I don't know if it has any symbolic meaning. I don't know anything about it. I just saw it on the news. It said orange moon. I'm like, ooh, again, the moon. Wow, haven't seen that before. I don't know about you guys, but I don't really read a lot of fiction. I mean, I've read a lot of H.P. Lovecraft, but not for probably over 10 years. But fiction books are they're entertaining. I don't know. I just don't have time. If I'm going to take the time to read a book cover to cover, it's going to be enlightening me and teaching me something. Now I know fiction books can, but I never was into fiction. If I'm, most of the books that I read are either philosophical by nature or books in psychology or sociology, anthropology, psychoanalysis, which is kind of like psychology, but I don't know. People don't read anymore, and I don't either. I'm almost just as guilty as, especially younger people. Like people are used to just getting their information from the internet. You want to know about this subject, you just Google it and you watch a YouTube video on it, or you go to Wikipedia. And I'm not dissing that. I mean, that's a great thing to have that information at your hands, assuming that information is accurate. But at the same time, it makes people lazy. People expect to be told or know instant gratification. And that's what the internet is. If I wanted to learn about Satanism, which this is what I had to do in 1989, 1990, I actually had to sit down and read the Satanic Bible. That took some time. Then I had to read all of other LeVay's books. That took me several years to read all the stuff to get a fairly good grasp on Satanism. That was in the early 90s, right? Now, someone wants to learn about Satanism, you Google it. Good chance one of my videos will pop up on YouTube. Bam. But what happened if what I'm saying is inaccurate? But now they think, oh, okay, well, YouTube referred this guy, so he must know what he's talking about. Bam, bam, bam. What happened if I didn't? Or Wikipedia. I read shit on Wikipedia all the time that's not accurate. So it's like, it's a good thing to have the ability to access that information right away, but it's also a bad thing because it makes people lazy and people don't search out and try to get to the source of that information because they think that Google must be right. Google is run by ads, so I got several paranormal. Well, not several. I got a few paranormal stories. I made most of the videos about them. One was about evil Spider-Man, some weird like Venom type weird thing that I saw in the desert with my brother and his friends camping. Another one was I was a witness to the Phoenix Lights in 1997 in Arizona, the largest mass UFO sighting in the United States. That was pretty cool. And those weren't fucking flares. I know that. What's up, Casey? Yeah, I mean, it's weird because people like, I don't know why, but why am I slumping down? Ugh, my camera. All right, there we go. And all of a sudden I'm like this. Like, not that drunk, fuck. But yeah, and people like make comments in my video like they're demanding like, tell me about Satanism. Tell me about this. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. Go get me a fucking beer. Like that's what you're saying to me. Like I'm not telling you. Like they feel like I'm obligated to teach them something. People ask that too. Teach me about Satanism. Like no. I got 1,000 fucking videos. When you're somebody special, I'm gonna like pull you aside and teach you because why? Because you asked me to. So I'm like entitled. Like, or I'm like, it's just funny because like, why don't you fucking read a book? Or they ask me stupid questions that they could easily fucking find, like, even on Google. It's like, I don't know. It's just laziness. It's laziness. People want everything right away, which I get, but yeah. The Nigerians. Yeah, Mark. Fuck those guys, man. Those guys are the fucking worst. And the funniest part is I made a couple of videos. They're troll videos, pretending that I can sell their souls. And you'd be surprised how many fucking people don't get that I'm trolling. Like, I get emails every day asking usually from Nigeria, somebody in Africa and somewhere in Africa, asking me how to sell their souls. This and that. Give me a sad story about how they're from a village that, caught on fire or whatever. And, they don't have a way to get it. Blah, 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 blah. There's a million fucking stories. And it's like, you know what? They don't get that I'm trolling. But even other people, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I guess some people just don't get that a lot of what I say is humorous. You know, I thought it was pretty fucking obvious that I was acting, but maybe I'm a better actor than I think. Yeah, Africans and Middle Eastern people are often want to sell their devil. They're like, how do I sell my soul to the devil? I want to be famous. I want to be rich. It's like, yeah. I mean, sometimes I fuck with them, but usually I don't have time to fuck with them. I did it first, and then I just realized that even when I fuck with them, they don't get it because they're so ingrained in this concept of good and evil, God, devil, heaven, and hell that they just that's their reality. So even when I'm fucking with them and making absurd and like stupid fucking comments that you know anybody with critical thinking should be like, this guy's fucking with me, right? I mean, even a fucking 13-year-old should be like, wait a minute, this guy's fucking with me. I can take these guys all the way downtown with my fucking straightforward, obviously troll jokes, and they just don't get it because they do not have critical thinking skills, and they're raised in a society that is uneducated and that just holds their hands out like this. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. So they come to me and like, I want money, money, money. I'll sell my soul to the devil. It's like, first off, even if there was a devil, why do you think he wants your soul? Second, why do you think your soul's worth anything more than the 6 billion people on this planet? But somehow like, give me, I want to be fucking rapper. I want to be famous with gold fucking rings. It's like, yeah, why don't you get a fucking job? Get an education. Work hard. That's a start. And I always tell them that too. And you know what? They don't want to hear that. Like, oh, sell my soul. It's like, yeah, easy way out. Laziness. That's all it is. Fuck them. Trust me. It's like, why would you? My other favorite one is, how can I join the Illuminati? It's like, wow. All right. And then you got fucking weird trolls like fucking pretending to be the Illuminati, like these African guys on Instagram and Facebook. Join the Illuminati. Oh, it's like, wow. So even if there was an Illuminati, right, which is not in the sense that they're acting, like the Illuminati is going to, one, they want to recruit. Two, they want to be advertising on social media and befriending people they don't even know that are strangers asking you to join the Illuminati. Like, nobody has any common sense. It's like, what the fuck? Are you guys stupid? Illuminati, the illuminated ones, the enlightened ones, right? And what does the occult mean? Secret. Yeah, Anton LaVey died a poor man. And if anybody can make money off of Satanism, it should have been him. Yeah, I mean, well, I think Alistair had money to begin with, but the way, I mean, nobody's making millions of dollars except for musicians and artists that have either downplayed Satanism or that you don't know. You don't know. You'd only know if you were a Satanist because they use certain principles of lesser magic in their music and movies, television. There's principles of lesser magic that you'd only learn and understand if you read certain books. There's a bibliography in The Satanic Witch by Anton LaVey. That is the ultimate bibliography of lesser magic according to LaVey and Satanism. And there are certain principles and techniques ranging from psychology, psychoanalysis, hypnotism, stuff with advertising, pictures, that only you would know if you read these books. And that's one way I can identify Satanists who don't talk about being a Satanist, don't advertise, they don't wear shirts like this, or have two tattoos like this. You know, they're on the down low. But I can tell because they're consistently using these principles. It's either they are or somebody involved in the music process that's with them. Most likely it's the musicians who's writing the lyrics, because that's what I focus on mainly. It's very complicated, and it's a lot of people won't understand and dismiss it because they haven't read these books. Once you read these books and then you see it constantly being applied by the same persons over and over and over, then you know that something's going on. It may not be the person singing the song, somebody who's writing the song. Maybe it's a producer. Who knows? I don't know that far. Yeah, I was offering these Africans. Well, not Africans, but it so happens that if you look at the comments, that most of them are. I was like doing something in my video, like these are These are Bitcoins that I got from Fry's Electronics, and they're real metal. They're kind of like a collectible thing, right? It's a fucking Bitcoin, right? We all know what that is, like cyber currency, right? So it's like, but they're metal, but they're fucking gold coins, right? I mean, I was like, I'm fucking with them, like offering them these gold coins, right, for their soul. Apparently, a lot of them believe it. I think I paid $3 for each one of those. I'll buy somebody's soul. I'll give them a half a pack of cigarettes and whatever left in that bottle of wine I just drank. Yeah, I'm a fucking fries junkie, man. Think it's actually I'm sad that they're going out of business. They haven't announced it, but if you go to the stores, at least in California, they're not stocking them anymore. So it's like you go into Fry's here in San Diego or San Marcos, the store's like depleted. Like, even like their deals of the day, which is what gets me. It's like, ooh, electrical tape's only 25 cents. Oh, I already have 10 tapes that I'm never going to use, but it's only a quarter. I got to go get it. They sucker me into that, right? Or stupid shit. But anyway, yeah, it's like you go there and there's like nothing there. It's like, what the fuck? And they're depleting their inventory. But yeah, it's that and Harbor Freight. I like Harbor Freight a lot. Get tool. I'm a tool guy because I work on my car and I do repairs around the house and stuff. Not because I have to. Well, sometimes because I have to, but mainly because I enjoy it. And I actually enjoy shopping too, just not for like stupid shit like groceries and clothes. I don't enjoy shopping for, but shit like tools, electronics, shit that I'm interested in. Books. I love collecting books. I don't much anymore. All the good bookstores are drying up and people don't read anymore. Yeah, so I'd like to get a fucking podcast going. I can't wing it by myself. It's too much work for one person. I mean, you need, unless that's all you do, right? Like say like Joe Rogan, right? But that's one person, right? He's probably got 50 people working for him. But even like a private podcast, I mean, it's unless that's all you're gonna fucking do. If you want to have a life and like have a job and like, you're gonna have to have a few hosts, right? Not just one. You're gonna have to have several that can bounce back and schedule and stuff like that. Still looking for that. I just don't have the fucking time. I've done it before. I've done two. Did the ooze at first, which wasn't my creation. That was a guy named BC. I helped with that, but that was mainly his thing. But that's kind of why I got involved. And then I did my own, and it's just like it was too much trouble, like coordinating it, the technical issues, and then of course you got to pay for it, right? The host, not necessarily, but on Blog Talk Radio, you did. I want to find somebody who's got a podcast already established that I can help with and be a co-host with, or I can do it myself, but I don't want to have to be responsible for the technical aspects. I just want to be responsible for showing up, talking about something, answering some calls, and doing the promotion. I don't mind doing the promotion. That's where a lot of people will have a hard time. They can do the technical stuff, which is great because I struggle with that shit. But yeah, I don't know. Brian won't. He's I'll just leave it at that. He's a busy guy. Sticks, I don't think will, just because I think he's disassociated with Satanism. And at this point, he's so big that I don't think he's got the time to do anything with anybody else. Jason King, much as I love the guy, Jason, you're probably watching this, or you will, or maybe somebody will tell you. I think he's too busy too. I don't think he would be a good co-host because I don't think he would commit himself to giving the amount of time and attention to the podcast. I think he might for one or two episodes, but I think he'll lose interest. But he would be a good guy. Reap Payton. Reap. Nah. I mean, he's an okay guy. I just not the type of personality that I'm looking for. I know a couple people, but I don't know. I'd like a woman. I know of a woman, actually. I'm trying to get her to do it, but she will. But she doesn't want anything to do with the technical aspects of it, which I get, and I don't either for the same reasons. But she's pretty fucking sharp. She's a well-rounded Satanist and attractive. And, well, I'm just going to shut up in case she sees this video. I don't want to scare her off quite yet. I think Reap did have a podcast. One cool guy is Blake Turner. If you guys get a chance, he did a lot of interviews with Satanists. He did me. He did Lucian Greaves. He did Corvus Nocturnum. He did quite a few actually. His name is Blake Turner, but I think the channel is called The Demented One. It's all one word, The Demented One, or just Demented One, something like that. And yeah, I'd love to do one with him, but I think he's a family guy and stuff, and I don't know. Did one with Jason Sorrell. That was cool. That was the ooze. Um, I don't know. It's kind of a pain in the ass, though. I mean, it's a lot of technical shit, and the problem is if you're not going to do it live, right? Well, not live, but if you're not all going to be in the same room together and do it, then you have to, rely that your guest is going to have their technical shit set up. And it's not always the case, and we struggle with that on Blog Talk Radio. I mean, you can call in over the phone, but it's a lot more work than I thought it would be. I figured, oh, this is easy. What I would like to do is a podcast for YouTube, just like we're doing here, right? But now imagine two screens. So somebody else is over on that screen, and we're talking and either reading questions or, better yet, taking live calls. But I would like to do a podcast and film it like this. And have somebody else with me, either literally, which probably won't happen, or somebody on the side, and then do it, because that would be fucking cool. I know, Casey, you mentioned it, about doing that. And I'm still kicking that around. I don't know how to do it really. But yeah, that would be fucking ideal. So I'm still working on this fucking social networking thing that I want to have prepared for Rogan when that happens allegedly in early 2020. Because I want to have something to promote, and I want to build a new social networking site that is counterculture, that has not just specifically like alternative philosophies like what Satanic International Network is, but more broad. So you have like underground movies, you have underground art, you have counterculture stuff, you have the drug culture, you have music cultures, you have a lot of that stuff. Politics with a K, of course there'll be philosophies and stuff like that, but that's not going to be what the main focus is. It'll be anti-government stuff, there'll be all kinds of stuff, counterculture stuff, against the grain stuff, and I'd like to build a network. It's just it's not that it's terribly hard to do it, but what's terribly hard is that all these private social networks, including the Satanic International Network, you're seeing a major decline, just because social media giants, Facebook, Instagram, fucking are just taking everything over, and everybody's got an app, and everybody's got this and that, and it's just, you can't compete. I mean, you don't have the money, you don't have the technology, it's people just going to Facebook to, if they want to, instead of being involved in a privately owned social networking site, that even if they're interested in that, whatever that's about, they just go to Facebook and make a group over there, because there's a billion fucking people on Facebook now. You know what I'm saying? It's just, this technology is changing. But snake pit, is that slashes? That's what I think of this thing. Oh, Mark, okay, yours. Okay, I didn't see you wrote. I was like, you guys ever watch American Horror Movie? That's yeah, Mark, you sent me links, and I try to watch most of them. Of course, I get bogged down a little bit, but yeah, Mark's from Canada. He's got a show, The Snake Pit. He's got another one called Internet Astronauts, right? Watch, I probably fucked that up, didn't I? But yeah, it's cool. He's got a YouTube channel, stuff like that. Does like indie type. Well, I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna go into detail, because I'm gonna fuck it up the more I try to describe it. American Horror Story. Yeah, I mean, I love that. Like all of those series, the American Horror Stories, every single one. I think what, episode 8 now or 9, which is not all that great, but I'm watching it now. All of those have like a really strong satanic theme, especially the one with the big top, the circus one, the sideshow one. I mean, if you read LeVay's stuff and he talks about the circus stuff, all that shit is like almost taken like from there. And I don't know, there's a lot of satanic themes within the American Horror Story, which makes me think that somebody who's writing this is well aware of Satanism in some sort, because they keep throwing certain things in there over and over in different seasons with different titles, different plots, still throwing these same themes over and over. It just seems like it's so repetitive that it can't be coincidental. That's also what I look for, is repetitiveness. I mean, everything's coincidental. I mean, but when it's repetitive and over and over and over, it seems like it's intentional. Well, guys, fuck, it's been an hour. I think I'm going to head out. I'm running out of shit to talk about. And if I leave now, go do the walk of shame at the bar. Walk of shame. Walk in there late, see who's drunk, see who's worth talking to, and see who's not. Get out of there. No, but yep. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. And yeah, I'm going to try to do this every Thursday and Saturday. For now, it's going to be every Thursday and Saturday. I thought I could take Tuesday too, but I can't. So yeah, but thanks, guys. And on the comments of this video, if if you think of a topic, because I'd love to talk about something specific. If anybody has a good topic, if you want to leave topics, bam, 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 and I'll try to sort through them and see which ones I know something about, so I'm not completely talking out of my ass. No. But you can talk out of your ass as long as you have a fucking Rambo knife, right? You got a Rambo knife. Hey, pretty much say whatever you want. All right, see you guys.